Hello guys, wow, what a first month, huh? So basically, World War III is on the horizon. Kobe Bryant died with his 13-year-old daughter in a helicopter accident. Virus outbreak in China. Australia is still on fire and stuff. And also here in Iceland, there's about to be a volcano and a whole town is gonna be wiped out. So, yay! Wow. It's like the world is just about to end or something. Welcome everybody to the movies and TV shows of 2019. Yes, it's almost it's probably February once this video comes out. It's what is it? It is the 28th of January right now, but this video will probably be coming out in February. Yeah, this video is pretty late. I know that. I'm aware. Thing is, I've been busy with school and stuff, and guess I'll show you. So this little guy here, his name is Bruno Sebastian, and we got him 2 weeks ago, and he's just a pup, so he requires a lot of attention. So my motivation to make videos have kind of been just like all over the place. Like, okay, let's make a video, but then it's like, oh no, I need to watch the dog. But he's really cute, isn't he? He's a Dutch Hound. He's from Germany. He's fighting for the fatherland. Aus der Heide blüht ein kleines Blümelein. Und das heißt Erika. Eins von 100.000 kleinen Bienelein wird umschwärmt. Erika. Alright, let's get into the movies and TV shows of the year. This is basically everything I saw, TV shows, movies from America, Europe, whatever. Doesn't matter where I saw it. It's just everything I saw packed up into one video. And last year I did best to worst. This time we're going to do worst to best. So we're going to start out with 1 out of 10 worst piece of shit of the year. First one is Logan Paul's airplane mode. I am actually struggling to actually call this movie a movie because it is so awful. This movie is just a masterpiece of awfulness. It is the pinnacle of not how to make a comedy. So funny thing with this movie, the behind the scenes is a million times more interesting than the actual movie. This movie was actually written in 2017. Like Logan Paul wrote it sometime in 2017, and the movie started being like made. And the movie was supposed to come out early 2018, but because of certain Suicide Forest controversy Logan Paul got into in 2018. The whole thing was just put on hold. Everything Logan Paul related, his shows, his movies, was just all put on hold. Unlike PewDiePie, which got completely terminated, everything about him just got deleted. But Logan Paul goes to... PewDiePie makes a Nazi joke, completely destroyed, doesn't exist anymore. He's just being ignored and doesn't exist. Logan Paul goes to a suicide forest where people kill themselves and basically makes a parade of a dead person's body, and just like put his stuff on a hold. But the movie was put on hold and it came out in 2019, and it really does show because all the jokes, the memes, and all that kind of thing, and all the influencer Instagram, YouTube celebrities that were popular in 2017 and 18 that aren't probably as big in 2019, and all the memes and jokes, it just feels so outdated. Not a single joke is funny in this movie. It's all just outdated memes and references that just will make you go, that's old, nobody cares. Nobody is acting in this. They just put a bunch of influencers and stuff onto a plane and go like, just scream and be over the top and do selfies and shit. All the 13-year-olds will love it. Logan Paul, weirdly enough, seems to be the most competent actor in this movie, but at the same time he's not good. I'm just saying, out of everybody, like, at least he has experience, and he's closest to a character. The others are just playing themselves. The story is Logan Paul wants to meet his girlfriend, and he goes on a plane with a bunch of influencers, and this movie's just ripping off Airplane, which is a far better movie. It even like rips off the coffee joke, the whole when the little girl has like her coffee, she says he likes her coffee black like her men. And then there's this like other kid in this movie, he's like, I like my women black, I like my coffee black with cream, like my women. And it's just like, it's not funny, you completely ruined the joke. The whole comedy aspect of the movie is, oh, look at all these internet celebrities scream. They just scream. Everybody's screaming. Oh my god, loud equals funny. People just going, oh my god, that's happening, oh my god. That's not funny. Comedy has to have some kind of meaning. What you're saying, what is happening on the screen has to have some kind of comedic meaning to it. You can't just scream, swear, and go, oh my god, this is happening, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening right now, and expect people to find that funny. It's ridiculous. This movie is one of the worst comedies I've ever seen. I'm struggling to call this movie a movie. It's literally just a bunch of internet, Instagram celebrities jerking their egos off. It's stupid. This movie should have just died when it should have just been cancelled and been left dead. Releasing it was pointless. Fuck this movie. 1 out of 10. 13 Reasons Why Season 3 was probably the worst television show I saw all year. It was god-awful. I just hated it. Like, the 13 Reasons Why has never been really good to begin with, but it just seemed to be going down and down and down. It's because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. The first season is based on a novel, and the second ones are just fan fiction. That's what they are. It's just, the writers are just going on Reddit, listening to all the, reading like fan fictions that some fans wrote, and they're just like, oh, let's just do that. Let's do what the fans want. Let's just do fan fiction. In season 2, all of the like straight characters are overly gay. Like, you have Zack helping out the suicide number 2 kid. What's his name? Alex or something. You have him helping, and it's so homoerotic and stuff. It's like, what the fuck? Because that's what the fans want. They just like they write fucking gay fan fictions of these characters, and they're like, oh, let's just do that because that seems to be what the fans want. Season 3 is so bad. It's a murder mystery. It's the worst murder mystery I've ever seen because every single suspect is just a red herring, and then out of nowhere in the end, oh, it was Jessica and Alex. Just Jessica and Alex, just out of nowhere. It's like they didn't even have a plan. They just decided, they just wrote, like, let's do a murder mystery, and then they just started writing red herrings, and then we're like, oh, we don't know what to do. Just these two, whatever. But we've already made them a red herring. Doesn't matter, just have them be the killers. I don't know, just do something, whatever. Fuck this. We're making gay fan fictions now. We aren't making a show anymore. The acting in this show is so atrocious. Everybody is so woodenly acted, like clay, with this like blank face, like no. He always has the same like grinny face. It's so like, what the fuck? And then you have that awful new character who's just like she feels like a fanfic character. She feels like a fan fiction writer just has inserted themselves into the story. She just out of nowhere is everywhere. She knows everybody. She knows everything. She generally feels like a Mary Sue fan fiction, insert yourself into your favorite story kind of thing. It's like reading a Harry Potter emo goth vampire fan fiction where someone fan of Harry Potter has implemented themselves into the story. It's stupid. Every single aspect of season 3 was just awful. From cinematography, writing, acting, just planning, everything in this show was so atrocious. And top it off, there's another season coming. Why? Why bother? This show is so cancerous, so stupid. It even is causing suicides. Fuck this show. 1 out of 10. The haunting of Sharon Tate was just insulting. It was just gross. It was disgusting. It is just a lazily thrown together shitty documentary trying to capture the Charles Manson murders and how Sharon Tate was murdered. It is just gross. It is disgusting. And the way they just make this, it looks so fake. It looks so cheap. And to do this like the most stupidest way possible, with Sharon is like dreaming of her death, and like she just like knows something's gonna happen, and then they like come into the house, they try to kill everybody, but they survive. It's like they survive the attack and are like, oh my god, we survived. Police officers, help us, please. And then the police officers are ignoring them, and there are all these like bodies on the floor, and it's like, oh, we are actually dead and we're ghosts. And it's just like, what the fuck is this insulting bullshit? Fuck this. Assassin's Pride is without a doubt the worst anime of the year. It was insufferable. I don't know what the fuck, who made this. Like, what is this? This show is gross. Remember last year's the worst anime was the My Sister, My Writer, which was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen, because it was disgusting, it was creepy, it was all about like incest and shit. But this one is worse. Assassin's Pride feels like the most ultimate level of power fantasy, where just like the writer is inserting himself into the story. It's so bad. The main character, like, he's a assassin, he's a ninja, he's a samurai, and he's a vampire. Like, it's like, what even fuck is this? Who writes a character like this? He has black emo hair, he wears black clothes, he is edgy, and he's like hired by some rich family. There's this magic school where a bunch of 13-year-old girls go to, and heir to a family doesn't seem to have any magical powers, and his mission is to kill her if she doesn't show any like prowess in like any development. So he's on to killing her, but he doesn't, and instead like I don't know, bites her or like something, and gives her some of his power, and gives her magical ability, and he like swears to protect her and does the most ultimate like soy boyishness, tips his fedora and says, "Milady." He literally says that. I'll just show you the fucking clip.
My little lady.
I'm gonna throw up, hold on.
Not only does this show have probably the worst protagonist in like history of anything, it also has the most disturbing waifu harem I've ever seen, because every single female character in the show is a 13-year-old schoolgirl, and he's like a, I don't know, 20, he's a 22, 23-year-old something, and he's sworn to marry this 13-year-old girl. And also he's constantly getting into arousing scenarios with a 13-year-old girl.
Sensei, socksを取って履かせてください.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, this is has a lot of pedophile shit in it. It's disturbing, it is creepy, it is garbage, and the weird thing is, this whole like world this is set in, the whole fantasy world it's set in, actually has some interesting elements to it, and like interesting like dynamic, but instead of focusing on that, the show rather wants to focus on Sir Milady Edgelord, the vampire samurai ninja, with being in creepy pedophile situation with 13-year-old girls, because of course that's what you focus on. Fuck this show. That was it for 1 out of 10 worst piece of shit ever. Now we're getting into 2 out of 10 god-awful. Tall Girl on Netflix. This movie was just the internet's favorite punching bag. A lot of people made a review on this and like just mocked the movie, obviously. This movie it's so lame. It's so stupid. this movie wants to like present. It's kind of like last year's Sarah Burks is a loser. Like, oh, boo-hoo me, I'm choppy, boo-hoo me. I couldn't do awful things. Like, what is up with these movies where you have like female protagonists who have like something about them, fat, tall, and that gives them an excuse to act like the most absolute cunts ever? This movie is the same thing. The main female character is so unlikable. She's so mean-spirited, but she hides it. She hides behind the wall of self-pity because I'm tall. I have to wear size 13 Nikes. Man, 13 size Nikes. Top that. And like people started making jokes out of that, like that clip of her, like, oh, I have to wear big shoes. Boo me. And people started going like, oh, I have cancer. My dad died. This thing. Like, it's like, what the fuck do you? Wow, you're tall. Boo fuckity who. Wow, Sarah Burks is chubby. Boo fuckity who. She's so sad because she can't get a date, but at the same time there's this guy following her, madly in love with her, clearly doesn't give a shit about her height, but she's like, no, friend zone, go away, friend. It's like, what the fuck? You're whining over the fact no guy is gonna like you, and here's this white knight who's like, will literally just like lick your feet to make you happy, and you're like, nah. Friend zone, go away, friend. And then a transfer student comes to their school, and it's a PewDiePie from Sweden, and apparently he was a loser in his school, but here he's the alpha male, and she likes him, of course, and he seems to be interested, but the popular girl snatches him first, and she starts going around them trying to get him away from a popular girl. Meanwhile, friend zone soy boy with his milk crate keeps following tall girl, and tall girl also has a stereotypical black female friend. Of course, we have to have, every single character has to be a stereotype. Main character, oppressed tall girl. Friend character, sassy black girl with sassy black hair. Also, we need a male friend, soy boy, virgin loser friend who is madly in love with tall girl, but she doesn't acknowledge him till the end because. And then a handsome love interest from another country. And of course we have a bitch character. Every single character just feels like an archetype. No one feels like a genuine human. Everybody's just fulfilling a role. She also has parent characters who are so bizarre. The father character is always like looking... Like when he's pretty much never a focus of a scene, but he's always just like a background thing. But while they're having like a dialogue section, he just sits there and he's just like staring like into the nothingness, like there's a gun on him or something. It's bizarre. The movie also has a really weird cinematography. It has like Mr. Robot cinematography where all the characters are like in the sight, like you have the whole frame and all the characters like framed like this, like you have all this space, but the characters are all like in this frame. It's usually in Mr. Robot, it's used to showcase how empty the characters are, but in this movie, it's just like, why? Why are you doing that? Doesn't make any sense. In the end, she learns a lesson. It doesn't matter if she's tall, and she decides to not be with PewDiePie, and she chooses milk crate soy boy friend guy, and everybody lives happy ever after. This movie is stupid. It has stupid messages. It's just like Sarah Burke as a loser. Stupid movie. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Hate it. 2 out of 10. The Kitchen tried to be a female-led kind of like a gangster movie, but this movie has none of the elements that make gangster movies good. It's just about all these women who are like, yeah, we're gonna become we're gonna start a criminal organization. They just show up, they're like, yeah, we're the boss now and we're in control. And the other guys are just like, okay, these women are in control, why not? And the movie is just them just talking and nothing happening, and then they just like, oh yeah, we're the biggest mob bosses on the city, man. Like, what? What? And top it off, the acting is horrendous in this movie. This movie doesn't look good. It doesn't have nothing pleasing about it. It has so many like shots of them walking on sidewalks, like the camera's here and they're just like walking on like a sidewalk blabbering. This movie has nothing to offer. If you want to see a good gangster movie, watch The Irishman, not this. Charlie's Angels 2019. Hey, excuse me. If we can't have Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu and of course...
God damn it, Bill fucking Murray!
We don't wanna, so go away. Okay, it's time for 3 out of 10, Dreadful. Game of Thrones Season 8 was without a doubt the biggest disappointment to me this year. Holy shit. Way to go. Starting off so good. So freaking good. Like those first 4 to 5 seasons were so good. And then you have season 6, which was not as good, but it was still good. It was good, but not as good as the other ones. And then you got season 7, which was alright. It wasn't bad or anything, but it had some elements that were kind of like, oh, okay. And then you have season 8, which is completely dropped on its fucking face. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it starts off just fine. Like, okay, it starts off fine here. And then you got the second episode, which is also pretty good. A lot of character development and dialogue, and going, oh, that's good. And then you have episode 3, the big fight. This is what the show has been building up to this entire time, and it's over in just one episode. That's it. It's this war. This the Ice Walkers, the fucking like Ice King. This whole build up, 8 seasons of build up, and just over in an episode. He's just dead. Whatever. That villain we've been building up for 8 seasons and like series and series of books and lore and stuff. But just dead in one episode. Whatever. He didn't even speak. He didn't even say anything. Does he speak? I don't know. And he dies in the most stupidest way possible. Like Jon Snow should have been the one to kill him. That's Jon's whole thing. That's what like Jon Snow's whole arc has been about. Like he's the first one who like really discovers the White Walkers and it's like, holy shit, the White Walkers, that's a thing. And he has been on this path like, I have to stop the White Walkers kind of thing. And then it's just stolen from him because we have to give Miss overpowered Arya all the moments now because she's a fan favorite. This isn't based on the books anymore. This is just fan favorites now. The Starks, oh yeah, they're the... Remember how fucked they were constantly being? Not anymore, because it's not based on books anymore. Now it's the fans who decide. The fans seems to love the Starks, so now the Starks are overpowered and just get everything. Fuck! This show completely misses the complete point of Game of Thrones and the Song of Ice and Fire novels. The whole thing is it's a political, realistic political drama set in kind of like a fantasy setting. But the show completely just glosses over that and completely turns into some stupid power fantasy. It's so stupid. The whole power... fantasy element has just completely taken over the show. This show is no longer about politics and character drama. It's about spectacle. It's about dragons. It's about ice zombies. It's about wars. And it's about that all now. That's all what the show is about now. Just stupid. None of the characters act like they usually do. They just make stupid decisions. It's like that character would never make that decision. Why the fuck are they doing it? The only thing good about the show that I really like was the fact that the actors do give it their all, and the production is fantastic, and the direction for the most part was also fantastic. But the thing is, what really fucks the shows over is the creators, D&D. They fucked up. Their lazy, rushed, garbage writing fucked this season. Everything about this season was pitch perfect, but just because they decided to slack off, they completely fucked the entire season over. Aladdin 2019. I've never seen a movie miss a point so much before. Holy shit, this movie is bad. It's just awful. Like, what the fuck? This movie, like the original, the original starts off with Jafar introducing the villain. We get an amazing sequence with him. Then we cut to Aladdin. We get the introduction to the protagonist. He gets a song number explaining like his whole thing, and then he gets a second song number also explaining who he is. Now we know Aladdin. We know the villain. Now then we cut to Jasmine in the palace, and we get to know her. Then we see her going to the market and meets Aladdin. and they have a chemistry. Okay, things have been set up. The villain has been set up. The protagonist has been set up, and the love interest has been set up, and chemistry has been put onto these two characters. And also the stakes. Aladdin gets taken, put in prison, and then Jafar tricks him to go into the cave to get the lamp. Everything has been set up perfectly. How long did that take? It was 20 minutes, around that. I wrote it down here. 20 minutes. And this new movie decides to go, fuck that. You know what? We're just gonna gloss over everything. Jafar, whatever. Just like show him for a brief moment going into the cave and stuff. Brief moment. Blah blah blah. Next. Immediately, marketplace. Let's just introduce Jasmine and Aladdin in the same scene. She's just out. She's just there. Who is she? I don't know. If you haven't seen this movie relies so heavily that you've seen the original. If you haven't seen the original Aladdin, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Who is Aladdin? Who cares? You've seen the original, so we don't have to explain who he is. You've seen the original, so you know who Jafar is and Jasmine is. You don't have to. It's stupid. The movie just starts in the market, and he sings the song, and then we have their chemistry, laughable chemistry, and the movie decides to focus on more stupid things than actual meaningful things. And Jafar is the fucking worst. In the original, he's this really cartoonish, but at the same time, really menacing villain. Here he's just some guy. Bring me the lamp. Some shit. He's just like, I have to have the lamp. I want to go to war with this other country that Jasmine's mom comes from. We have to go to war. I need the lamp. I need the lamp. And they put in, of course, a lot of feminism. Like, Jafar's like, Jasmine, you should just stand there in the background and be pretty. That's all women should do. Some nonsense. And then she has her stupid song number where she sings how she isn't going to be silenced and shit. But then immediately gets silenced and saved by the man because... why not? And the best thing about this movie would be Will Smith, but at the same time I did not like him because Robin Williams was so much better. Like everything Will Smith does that was like, oh, it's alright, it was done a million times better by Robin Williams. This movie feels like a sad, pathetic shadow to the original. Fuck it, it's dreadful. X-Men Dark Phoenix. This movie was atrocious. Thing with the X-Men movies, they always have like ups and downs. You had the first two X-Men movies, which were they're pretty goofy and silly today, but I still really like them. I still enjoy the movies. Then you got Last Stand, which was just awful. And then you got X-Men Origins of Wolverine, was also awful. But then the series kind of had a redemption with First Class and Days of Future Past. It's like, okay, X-Men is good again. It's good. And then Apocalypse came, and it was like, oh, don't do this. Don't go down this road. Oh, they're making a Dark Phoenix movie again. They're gonna fix it. They're gonna do it right. Wait, what? Why is it written by the same guy who wrote Last Stand? What are you doing? Don't do that. Oh, it's awful. No, what a surprise. Fuck. Like, this movie is so bad. It's so stupid. It's so rushed. Like, Raven, Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence is so fucking bad in this movie. She barely wears the makeup anymore. It's like she went from being dark blue to like light blue. Like, it's more like a paint on her face than like an actual like she's like her skin is like this blue thingy. It's like she just has a paint on her. It looks so bad. And she is in the movie for like 5 minutes and just gets killed because she didn't want to be in these movies anymore. And she is so half-assing it. Everybody is so, like, not everybody. I will give Michael Fassbender and Michael. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. He's a good actor, but I never remember his name. Xavier. They were pretty good. They actually were giving it their all. And there were elements in the movie that were alright, but there was just so much stupid. Like the villain, these alien things were just stupid. They had no personality. It was just ridiculous. And Jean's whole like transformation is also just stupid. It's just like in The Last Stand where she's good and then I'm just evil now because The movie says so. I need to be evil to make this movie interesting. What men want: stupid comedy, stupid characters, stupid premise, and it is that's a really fucking cringe-worthy moment where that little kid had like the woman's like underwear on his face and was like, "Welcome to Wakanda."
I hope it's okay I borrowed your mask. Welcome to Wakanda.
It was like, holy fuck, that's cringe. Ugh. And the comedy aspect of this movie was just stupid. People scream, loud equals funny. Ha 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 ha. I just hate American comedies. They've just become so bad. 7 Seed on Netflix. This is the second worst anime I saw all year, which was so fucking disappointing to me that when I heard it's from the studio Ganso, which made one of my favorite animes, Welcome to the NHK, which is just, in my opinion, a fucking masterpiece. It's so good. And this one is just laughable. Like, the characters are so, like, you have characters who are so stupid. Like, all the characters are such an archetype. You have this girl who's so, like, insecure that she's just, like, her whole thing is insecurity. So, her character is so insecure to a point where she can't even, like, do anything. Then you got, the main guy in the story who's like this complete white knight beyond belief. Like, he's the nice guy, so his character is like pushed like he's the ultimate nice guy. And then you got this guy who's kind of like a deviant or like a degenerate, and he's like the almost ultimate degenerate. Like, in the first like 5 minutes, he's trying to sexually molest the insecure girl, and every single time picking fights with someone. It's like, wait, get it? He's a fucking degenerate who is like an asshole at the beginning, but kind of has a redemption later on, and some stupid shit like that. It's like, why the fuck should I give a shit about this character? He's trying to sexually molest people and beat everybody. Why the fuck should he have a redemption arc? And all the characters are just overly mean-spirited and stupid. Like, this whole, like, the show has a really cool premise. Like, the end of the world is coming, so the whole, like, world gathers the most, like, intelligent people in the world and puts them into time capsules. But Japan decided to do 2 things. They decided to put their number 1 most like intelligent, capable people, and then their least capable people, and see which one would do better. And the weird thing is, the people who are least capable seems to do better than the most capable, because the most capable just turn into savages. Like, power-hungry, tyrant savages for no reason. The show was so bad. The animation is awful. The characters are awful. The way they explore this interesting concept is just so poorly done. It's just dreadful. Terminator Dark Fate. It's just another fucking Terminator movie. Stop making these movies. Nobody cares. They're boring. They're bland. This movie apparently really underperformed. Thank God. It means there's not gonna be another one. Stop making Terminator movies. Just stop. Nobody cares. Arnold is basically about to die. He's 70 years old. Sarah Connor is old as well. This new character, the new John Connor character, the Mexican chick, is not interesting. Nothing about this movie was interesting. Stop making Terminator movies. We don't care. Okay, now it's time for 4 out of 10 bad territory. Adam Sandler's Murder Mystery on Netflix. It was not as bad as Sandler movies go. It was probably one of his better films in a while. There's a movie that came out, I think this year. I think it came out this year, or maybe really late last year. I don't know. But people are saying it's really good. Like, it's a Sandler movie and it's really good. So it was like, I don't know. Are people just saying like it's good because it's a first Sandler movie in a long time, which isn't complete garbage? That's usually how it goes when like a filmmaker who's known for making like really bad stuff makes one decent thing. Everybody's like, oh, it's so good. This filmmaker is so good now. He's good now. He made one decent movie out of 100 garbage movies. He's good now. He's good. What I found most depressing in the movie is just Adam Sandler himself. Like, he genuinely looks dead in this movie. He's just so dead. like I've never seen him play a character more dead than this. I generally don't believe he acts anymore. He's just showcasing how fucking dead he is. But it was not as bad as it could have been. It was alright for a Sandler movie, but as a movie, it's pretty just like 4 out of 10. It's kind of bad. Pokémon Detective Pikachu. Why? I found so weird that how people were really excited for this movie, and I was like, why? It's another fucking American live action adaptation of like an anime. Why do people show any excitement for any of this? Like, name one. Well, actually, surprisingly, there was one movie this year that was not based on an anime, based on like a short anime and based on more of the manga. That was actually really good. I'll talk about that later. But for the most part, every single American live-action adaptation of a Japanese anime always just suck. So I can't believe how much of a hype there was around this movie. And for some reason, people gave it really good scores just because, oh, Pikachu is cute, so that means the movie is good. The movie is garbage. This is awful, and Pikachu looks creepy. Like, all the Pokemons in this movie look so disturbing looking. I didn't find them charming. I didn't find them like oh, that's cute. Because what's cute in like 2D animation isn't as endearing in like CG animation. It just doesn't come out. And top it off, the guy who did the character design for this movie, he's popular on the internet for making like realistic Pokemon artwork. He does like fan arts where he draws like realistic Pokemon, and those images usually look really disturbing. And for some reason they're like, yeah, let's hire this guy, let's get him and make all the character design for this movie. That's a great idea. Nothing in this world feels like Pokemon. Like, Pokemon is about catching these animals into a ball. It's one fucking scene in the entire movie where they try to catch a Pokemon in a ball. And it's just a fan service scene. That's it. After that, like, they just go to the city, like, oh, we're in a city where humans and Pokemon just live together. So the whole element of Pokemon is gone already. The only knowledge I have of Pokemon is from the first movie. My grandfather had it when I was a little kid, and me, my brother, and cousin, we used to watch this movie when we were like at Christmas parties and stuff at my grandfather's. So we would watch the movie and we're like, oh, it's fun. And that's the only thing I know about Pokemon. I haven't seen the show, I haven't played any of the video games, I haven't seen any of it, but I still know what Pokemon is, and I know stuff about Pokemon because it's such a cultural phenomenon. And just even from that, with my absolute noob understanding of Pokemon, like the most casual person expect knowledge of Pokemon, I still understood the references and characters and stuff. That tells me that the writers and stuff, the people who were behind this movie, probably also had really little knowledge of Pokemon, because if a casual viewer can catch all the references and stuff, is this movie then really made for the fans? Domestic no Kanojo. Domestic Girlfriend. It's another incest anime. What is up with Japan and incest? Every time there's an incest meme or something on the internet, you can see the comment. They're all just going, "Sweet Home Alabama," but shouldn't it rather be "Sweet Home Japan"? Please stop making incest anime.
佐藤和馬ってどんな字を書くの？書いてみてお兄ちゃん。
ああ、俺の名前はね。
But this one is not as bad as My Sister, My Rider, where they were related by blood. In this case, they're not related by blood. It's more of a. This one is just. It's still really weird. So you have this guy who is in high school, and he likes his teacher. He wants to fuck his teacher, and but he's invited to like a karaoke session with friends and some other schoolgirls, and he ends up sleeping with one of the girls, and it was just like a one-night stand that didn't mean anything thing. So they just go their separate way, and it's done. But then he gets the news that his father is remarrying, and this new wife he's getting has 2 daughters, so he'll be getting not related by blood siblings. And what a surprise, those 2 siblings is the girl he slept with and his teacher who he's crushing on. Okay. And that's pretty much the only like concept this show really has. The rest is just like, ooh, guy gets into scenarios with his not related by blood sisters, and it's stupid and creepy. Please stop making these fucking shows. I will say this show was like, it was so bad, like it was bad, but I still really found it enjoyable. It was funny. It was so mental at points. It was so stupid and so just like, what the actual fuck? I was just laughing a lot of the time. I was just having a blast watching it. It's like watching The Room. It's like just a car crash. It's so bad, but you just can't look away from it. This show generally has a scene where where the blue-haired chick is like has a fever, and to put her fever down, he has to put a certain pill, an anal pill, but he has to do it for her, and it's this whole scene where he's just shoving this pill inside her, and it was fully voice acted, animated, and everything. Why? The only good thing about the show, which was like really weird, is that it actually has a really good opening song. Like, way too good for this show. Like, it was like, what the fuck is a song like this doing in this show? Like, this song is way too good for this show. It should have been used for some other show. That's the only thing I can really positive I can say about the show. The show was a complete train wreck. The only reason it isn't like in the worst category is because at least I had fun watching it, unlike like Assassin's Pride, which just made me sick and hate it. This was at least fun to watch. It was a fun train wreck. Speaking of creepy, disturbing anime, Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher is another so bad that is good train wreck. This is another one which was just like, what the fuck were they thinking with this shit? It is literally, it has like 3 characters, 3 male characters and 3 like teacher characters, and like the first 4 episodes I think focus on this guy and this teacher and this guy and this teacher, this guy. It's like it's 12 episodes, and everybody gets like a 3 to 4 episode to themselves. And the whole thing, this just whole thing with this show is that you have these high school guys getting into erotic scenes with their teachers, and that's about it. That's all this show offers. But at the same time, like I said, it was entertaining as shit. It was hilarious. Just what the fuck was happening on screen. This one also has a scene where someone shoves a fucking like fever pill up someone's ass. What the fuck? What the fuck? Stop making these. Oh my god. Fast and the Furious, Hop and Shawn. Who cares? Ugh. This movie was just boring. Unlike these, like, in a way, the Domestic Girlfriend and Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher are way worse than this, but they're at least like funny. Just how fucked up they are, they at least are funny and entertaining in that scenario. This movie is just boring. It has so many action scenes, but none of them are fun. Child's Play remake. This movie pissed me off because I actually like the original Child's Play. They're silly movies, but they're fun. They are fun in their execution. They're fun in just how they're made. They have an interesting concept. Excellent performance from the original Chucky actor, who's been playing Chucky just from the from beginning to it's the last one that came out. This one replaces him with Mark Hamill, who was pretty good. I like Mark Hamill. His voice acting was good. But the thing is, this movie just sucks. The movie tries to be like everything that is popular right now. It does the whole, oh, Chucky, but in like modern times. So it's like robot Chucky and robot stuff and shit. And we also have like, they try to shove in like 80s Stranger Things nonsense, where you have all these like Goonies gang. You have the main character, the girl, the black kid, big jerk guy who isn't a jerk by the end, Goonies, Stranger Things, shit. They just shove in like this kind of stuff. They're trying to capitalize on popularity, like, oh, Stranger Things is popular, let's shove that in. Robot AI stuff, that's popular, let's shove that in. The movie feels empty. It feels garbage. The way Chucky becomes a thing in this movie just like was the most stupidest shit ever. In the original, it's a serial killer who gets shot by a cop and is about to die. So he uses voodoo to transport his soul into this doll, and it's interesting. He then gets into the hand of this little kid, like a 5-6-year-old kid, and is manipulating the kid to take him places so he can kill people. It's interesting. And then of course he just plays like a doll, and the kid gets blamed for everything. That's interesting. That is like cool. And he had personality. He's this serial killer in a puppet, and he's trying to get out, and his only way out is to transport his soul into the kid and become a kid killer. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. This one, in China, in some sweatshop, this guy hated his job, and his boss kept yelling at him, so he gets mad and just like does something in a computer, and now this good guy doll is now evil because he did a little, and then he goes and just commits suicide. It's like, that is stupid. What kind of a safety hazard is that? Where just some random employee, when he gets mad, can just go like, and now he just has created the ultimate evil or something. It's like, that makes no sense. That is stupid. In this one, Andy is like a preteen. He's like 13 or 14 years old, which make no sense because in the original he was just a kid. He was just a little kid. He didn't really have the way to explain things. But here's he's so bad. Like, here's the thing: a 6-year-old kid was a better actor than this guy. What the fuck? And the mother is so awful in this movie. She is really good in the original. She feels like a mother. And the Goonies guys, they're also stupid. They literally just show up out of nowhere, like, oh, hey, you're that kid in this apartment. Then they just out of nowhere start hanging out with Andy and are like, yeah, we're just friends now. And then Andy has like one of these kids in the apartment. They like destroy Chucky and throw him away, and then this guy in the basement rebuilds him, and this other kid gets the doll, and it's like, oh, look at my doll. My doll can do stuff too. And Andy's like, no, it's Chucky. And the other's like, oh, dude, Chucky's dead. And he pushes his friend, and then in like a later scene, they're like, where's your freak friend? And they're like, he's not our friend. What? And then immediately, next scene we see these two, they're like, oh my god, Chucky is back. We gotta help Andy. He's our friend. Fuck! Man in Black International was pretty shit. It was pretty fucking bad. I can like barely remember what the fuck this movie was about. It was so all over the place. We have just like, again, we have a fan fiction character now. Like just with the black girl in 13 Reasons Why season 3. Now we have this girl, and she just like comes in and she's like, I know things. I know about the Men in Black. I know. And she just like, oh, you know. You somehow found out who we were and stuff, and we're just gonna welcome you into our like group now because Because we used to hire people because of their talents, but now we hire people because they just happen to find us. Yep, that's how it works now. This movie does feel like a fan fiction writer wrote like a different version of Men in Black, where she's the main character. She imports herself into the story, and she designs this like hunk of a character to be her like friend/love interest kind of thing. That's what the movie feels like. It feels stupid. It feels empty. It was just like, stop making Men in Black movies. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay, here's a little bit of a different thing. You probably not a lot of people have seen this. This is actually from a fellow YouTuber and an independent like filmmaker, Ralph the Movie Maker. It's a Golden Hour. I really like Ralph's movies. He like really. I find him to be a really inspiring like filmmaker because he's a YouTuber and he's trying to like make something of himself in the industry. That's really inspiring. That's really good that when you can see stuff like that. And I, for the most part, really like his movies. King Candy was excellent, and The High was also really good. But I have a problem with his newest project, Golden Hour, because it just feels like a lazier version of The High. Like, it literally feels like The High. It's even shot in the same town and house and everything. And the audio in the movie was like really fucked beyond belief. So I guess he had to like redo all the audio with dubbing. So when they're like in the outside, you constantly hear like a dub thingy. Everything is dubbed in this. Like nothing is the original audio. It's all just dubbed over, and it sounds so bad. It's like, what the fuck? And it's not like he's releasing this. He has now released it for free on the internet, but he was charging for it, and that's like, come on, that's not charge worthy. Like, come on. Like, I'm sure he did what he could with this, and like I said, I really like his movies. The other movies he's made, they're really good, but this one was pretty bad. Hellboy, the new one, it was shit. It was just bad. Movies all over the place. You barely know what the fuck is happening at points, and the villain, this witch thing, is just stupid. She wants Hellboy to be her spouse, so they can like rule the world, and he becomes like a demon king, and if he takes like Excalibur, he becomes demon. So all he has to do is just not take Excalibur, but he still does in the movie. The only like interesting thing, cool thing about the movie was the fact that it was R-rated and was really violent and fucked, really gory and shit. That was cool. But other than that, it was just a really stupid, weak movie. Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. This sequel trilogy has been a absolute fucking mess. You got Force Awakens, which just is an alright, like I would give Force Awakens a 6 out of 10. It's not bad. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great or anything. It's just okay. It's safe. It plays it by the numbers. It's just a remake of New Hope, plays by the numbers, and is safe and crowd pleasing. Great. Then you got Rian Johnson's Last Jedi, and I can definitely appreciate that Rian Johnson was trying to do something risky. He was trying to take a risk and do something that hadn't been done before, but at the same time, he didn't really do it well. He has shown that he is a capable writer and really good director, but this movie was not his thing. It was just, I don't think he should have made this movie. He completely takes everything that was being set up from the first one and completely destroys it, and just wraps up everything. And then everything gets thrown back to JJ, and he somehow has to make all this make sense. There is so much in the new movie that is just completely from The Last Jedi. So many things from Last Jedi that are just completely left in the dust. Same thing. That the funny thing is, Force Awakens sets up thing. Last Jedi completely leaves those things behind and wants to do its own thing. But then Rise of Skywalker comes in, completely leaves Last Jedi behind and wants to do its own thing. It doesn't feel like a whole trilogy. It feels like a movie, then a movie, and then a movie. It doesn't feel like it's a one big story in 3-act structure like the old movies do. At least with the prequels, like as bad as they are, they still have like the structure of like they all feel like a trilogy. How did you fuck this up so much? This movie was just bad. It is so rushed. They are constantly jumping to a planet, to a planet, to a planet, next planet after another. So many characters are just like nothing. Like Rose, remember Rose? Yeah, she's like in the movie for like few seconds. She has like 3 lines of dialogue. Leia is so weird in this movie because the actress died and they just took like unused footage from Force Awakens and like digitally implanted her into the scene, and she feels so robotic. She doesn't feel like she's there. She feels like a green screen. And Rey is just the same, overpowered, bland and boring, and doesn't have anything interesting about her. Kylo Ren is just Kylo Ren. I like the scene where Han Solo comes back and is like a ghost and speaks to Kylo. That was actually very nice to see Harrison Ford come back for one last moment. And the ending was just nonsensical, stupid. Like the Emperor was stupid. They clearly had no plans for the Emperor. They just shoved him in because they had nothing else to do. And he dies in the most stupidest way. Like he's electrocuting Rey, and she's like, he's like winning. And then she just takes up another sword and does like a cross thing. He's electrocuting her, winning. But as soon as he starts reflecting all the lightning in his face, and his face starts to like melt and shit, for some reason he doesn't stop shooting the lightning. He just keeps going and all, and it blows up and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Just stop shooting lightning. What the fuck? It's so stupid. It's so cartoony and nonsensical. And then like she dies and Kylo just comes and gives her her life force. Ooh. And then he just dies and Chewie gets a medal, and of course the twist of the movie, they were trying to do like a Return of the Empire kind of thing, where they're like, ooh, Rey is a Palpatine. Palpatine is her granddaddy. Ooh, but at the end of the movie, she goes to the old home of Luke, the farm, buries his lightsaber and Leia's, I think. And this old woman's like, oh, nobody's been here for a long time. Who are you? And she's like, I'm a Skywalker. No, you're not. You're Palpatine. Stupid. None of the characters from these movies feel like they had an arc. None of them. Like they set Poe Dameron up. He's like, okay, he's this Han Solo type guy. What does he really do in these movies? Nothing. Finn. He used to be a stormtrooper and then decides to leave the First Order and become a rebel. What's his arc? That's it. That's all you get. Like a little setup for his character and nothing. And then you have Rose. She's introduced in the second one and nothing. Just nothing. And Rey, she just becomes a Jedi, I guess. Just goes on the same journey as Luke, but lamer. And then you got Kylo, who probably is the only one who actually had like an arc, but it's just like a Darth Vader ripoff. Like these movies don't feel like original stories. They feel like they're just ripping off the old ones. Like Force Awakens is a ripoff of New Hope. Last Jedi has elements of Empire Strikes Back, and this one has elements of Jedi Returns. And like you have like a throne room, the Emperor, and the Emperor dies, and then Ben Solo is basically Darth Vader, and he dies, and it's just like, it just feels like the same fucking movies. Fuck Star Wars, I'm done with it. Fuck it. If Disney's gonna continue making Star Wars movies, fuck Star Wars. It's not worth it. They're just gonna rape it. Star Wars is over. It ended when George sold the rights. It's over. I'm just gonna imagine none of these movies exist.